why we chose that boy right there,
right?
the Winnebago Echo.
Yeah, it's a pretty long story too, because we were down the path with another RV, another total different class of RV. So we can kind of talk you through kind of what we considered, pros and cons of each, and ultimately why we actually went with the Echo.
Yeah, so if you are interested in getting into the RV space, stick around because you might want to hear this.
And this was not an easy decision. Initially, we had our sights set really squarely on a Class B van.
Yeah, it
right?
really was not an easy decision at first for us. So the Class Bs, you know, again, we actually had one on order.
Right, exactly. Specifically a Sprinter van. It was a Midwest Automotive Passage, and we'd actually fallen in love with it. It was on order, and Tanya was like super excited about it, right?
We both were. It was kind of like
it
was kind of like the layout that you felt like. And if you are familiar with the Sprinters, sort of the Midwest Passage automotives, they're kind of luxury. So we were thinking of something, we can get something compact, which is a Class B, but still have the feel of home, and that kind of gave it to you. So for us, it was like, okay, we like it. The cabinetry worked, the refrigerator worked, the layout worked for us, but there were a few issues that we talked about, and then we worked around it. Which was, one, the height.
Right, and it's interesting too, because we hadn't actually been inside one
because you couldn't find them.
Crazy.
They weren't available.
So we had ordered one, but we knew the height was 6'3" inside. And I'm 6'2", so I thought, okay, that's probably okay. Of course, a Mercedes Sprinter chassis was still it was a 24-foot one. Right, so the length ultimately is actually a little bit longer than this, believe it or not. Right, but it had it did ultimately have a much kind of tighter feel in it than this does.
It did, in terms of, we've seen some of those Class Bs where the bed's shipped this way, or you got to move it yourself and put the table there, which just seemed a lot of work for us.
No, exactly. It also had a wonderful kind of lounge area in the back, which would convert into a bed. So you'd have to make that bed up to do that, but it had this conversion, which was actually a really nice feature.
Yeah. We also have cats, and so we had to take that into consideration, and I was already thinking of things to do in terms of covering those luxury seats to make it work. So we thought about things that would allow us to make it work. And we were set. We set
order placed. We had a wonderful dealer. We were excited. But then, of course, Winnebago had this major announcement.
Introducing the Winnebago Echo.
They suddenly introduced this Echo. We had never seen all the features. We were just, in terms of the capability, even the four-season aspect was significant, because we were kind of thinking, okay, we're going to spend a lot of time probably in the Northeast and the mountains and the snow, and would probably have to winterize the Passage and not really have water available, which is very different.
And that's where it started to shift on us from a Class B to, this is what I would consider this, because it is small, it's a little shorter, I would consider it a B+.
Exactly.
To like a C. But of course, they don't really have a B+ true category, so it's classified as a C. The height on this one is much taller than the height on the Passage.
And that's a huge difference. And we actually didn't realize that until we went to the Tampa
RV
show in January. And kind of, we walked into a Midwest, and boy, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
But I definitely felt the height. I could kind of scrape almost, the top on that. And then you walked into the Echo, and boom, that 6'8", you really felt that space.
Right. But then, when you're walking into that space, for me, it felt like, okay, so where's the lounge area?
Well, no, it's
where's
true.
the area that's going to be called home?
Absolutely.
Where are we going to relax?
That was a big issue, and is an issue. Yeah.
But mentally, I'm thinking I'll make some changes, some modifications in there, but it's the gist of it, So, okay, I like the fact that once you walk in, it's got this great open sort of feel, so you don't feel so claustrophobic with two people walking back and forth doing different things.
Plus, there's a capability here with all the external storage options. Welcome to Vegas, helicopter flying over. That might be one of the tours.
Helicopter?
Coming at you.
Yeah, truly, helicopter. We'll give it a second.
It's definitely not a quiet campground here. One of the biggest reasons out of the gate was the four-season capability, and the Echo is really designed for four-season. And we just didn't see that in a lot of the Class Bs we were looking at. You'd really need to clearly winterize going into some of the cold weather and the snow. And this thing, if you look at the insulation on this, it is thick. It is impressive insulation all around. But that was something that was very exciting for us, especially, you know, we spend a lot of time in the Northeast and the mountains, and so.
And we love that. I mean,
exactly, we love the snow.
We really love that.
All the tanks are internal,
yeah.
you know, behind the insulation as well. So
yeah.
it's a big factor.
Yeah, and the other really big factor was the Winnebago name. You're always going to expect something to happen in an RV. It's like a house. If you own a house, you know, there's always something that goes wrong in that house that you're going to have to be aware of to fix. Having a Winnebago Echo, they have service centers all throughout the country. So it makes it really comforting to know that if something does happen, then we can figure out where it needs to go.
Exactly, that's very true. And also the Ford chassis as well, very similar. We thought, you know, if something went wrong there, you could actually get it repaired at an affordable price at many, you know, Ford places across the country as well. We've heard very good things about the Transit chassis.
And having that garage space, it's a massive garage space for an RV that size.
Put the bikes right in there, the grill, everything. You can load up that.
You can load it up.
And it's heated too.
Yes,
which
that's
is great. So these compartments, many of them are heated.
Yeah, and outlets. It's got AC outlets, all that great stuff. And what about the fact that it's all-wheel drive? Really quick. Ooh, okay, so today we are cooking inside because outside it's very windy, and here in Nevada, when it's windy, it's dusty, and I don't want those dust particles all up in my food. And I normally don't cook fish inside because it can be extremely smelly on the inside. And I remember saying to Dave, oh, why can't we have like a vent hood to pump out the smells whenever I'm cooking something inside? Well, I'm very excited to try this new product today. It's like Christmas in spring, y'all. This is the new Sierra Hood to Go. Think of it as your own small personal vent hood to keep all those odorous cooking sessions out of your rig. It's pretty compact in size. It's actually very light and durable, and as a matter of fact, it's made out of recycled ABS material. The Sierra Hood to Go has 2 fan speeds, a high and a low. It's triple filters, and it has a large oil collecting cup. Let's get to cooking this salmon. This smells so good, y'all, and I'm really happy to be eating something healthy for once. A little salmon, wild rice, and some power greens. That fan speed, number 1 and 2 on the Sierra Hood to Go, it was pretty powerful. And as soon as that greasy steam from the skillet started coming up, it went right into that triple filtration system. So even though I smelled a little bit of salmon, it took out 90% of what I would normally have smelled cooking salmon. Nice. If you or someone you know might be interested in the Sierra Hood to Go, be sure to click the link in the description box below. And between now and June 30th, make sure you use our early bird promo code.
No, that was a huge factor.
It's not 4x4, but it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, and when we were looking at the Class Bs, we wanted a 4x4, right? Or at least the all-wheel drive as well. And the Transit has that feature, which, you know, obviously it's not the, you know, it's not like a real, like a Revel.
Yes.
You know, it's not a 19-foot Revel. It is 23 feet, so it has that extra size. Probably just enough for us. And plus, you know, having the all-wheel drive feature for driving the snow is extremely important.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know, living in the Northeast, we always wanted to make sure we had that capability, and this actually brings us that. So, you know, we're not going to drive through deep snow drifts, but you can drive over snow-covered roads with some ice, and you'll be fine.
So I gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
Before we go on, there was a real concern at first, and I was really, really nervous, and a couple concerns. I guess the major, I'll get to that second, but one of the concerns was that dinette area.
Yes.
You know, it was a little bit of a
Well, it looked like
tug and war.
Looked like airplane seats when we first saw them. It looked like airplane seats. We're like, oh, those do not look comfortable.
I was like, is that going to be comfortable?
And that's
airplane seats.
Right.
I can't get my hips in those airplane seats.
And that's a main living area.
Yeah.
Right. Of the RV, and so we had to get comfort around that. Also, the ability to in terms of potentially mod that as well.
Right. And that's where my mindset came in to say, okay, well, can I live with it for now? Yes. Will I make modifications on that? Yes, at some point, and we'll be excited to share that with you when we do make those mods. But lo and behold, it's not as uncomfortable as I thought.
Right,
It worked out fairly well.
Right, no, it actually is. But there was another big potential issue that was almost a showstopper.
Big time showstopper.
Yes.
So, and that was basically saying, okay, well, this here has a cassette toilet versus a black tank.
Right,
and
no
if you're
black tank.
not familiar with cassette toilets, just look up all the European RVs because they're in those. It's basically exactly what it says. And if you kind of go back to some of our previous episodes, you will see Dave's
my carry-on
toilet
luggage.
Suitcase.
My toilet suitcase. Exactly. So it's very popular over in Europe in these types of RVs.
Yeah, you pull it out and you have to deal with it.
Yeah, but you got to kind of take it and kind of manually empty it. And so that was my job. That was a deal, right? If we're going to get this thing, Tiny's like, okay, if we get this, but you're taking care of that cassette.
And he was like, yes,
yeah, I
will do it. I got you covered.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys very much, by the way. A lot of you in the previous videos left numerous
thanks
comments.
for those tips. Exactly. Also, like do's and don'ts of kind of handling the cassette and things like that. So we appreciate the help.
Yes, for sure.
But don't you think it's pretty comfortable?
Yeah, it really is. I love the bedroom area.
Little dove.
Was that
coming
a dove?
on in, or something like that. Or pigeon. Little pigeon. Yes.
Oh,
two of them. Two of them.
I think they're fighting for branch control.
Yeah, we've actually been super impressed so far with how comfortable it is in there. We initially thought the Bs may be more comfortable, but not sure that's the case.
You know,
the
the way they
beds.
make those mattresses are like memory foam, but it's also the layout. You know, you could either have it as a twin, or you can actually do a queen. You know, sort of a
nice size
full
queen.
size of a queen, which is nice to be able to give you those options. But it's also the fact that you don't have to, you know, unmake it to make it because of a
nice.
kitchen table. That's your dinette table. That's your workspace.
Right, that would be a lot every day if you're trying to switch that into your kind of living area.
Yeah, and of course, you know, waking up and having big windows, you know, like a picturesque window right out there, which is really nice. They're very nice, very convenient.
Nice windows, well insulated windows too.
Well insulated. Yeah. And it's true because you think about the amount of insulation that this thing has. When everything's closed off, it's fairly quiet.
It is.
With the exception of this.
What the heck? There's a train out. What does that mean?
I just hope it's the last one.
That train was crazy, right?
Oh,
that was quite an experience.
That train was crazy.
But I don't think no matter what you do.
So if you go to that harvest house, just be aware that train's going to be coming by all night, or at least until midnight, and then wake you up at like 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning. Because of the fact that this doesn't have a black tank, it allowed more space to put fresh water. So this has a 50-gallon
huge freshwater tank, which is awesome. And like you said, the bathroom though and the shower combo is very unique in this. We were very impressed with that. And as someone who's like almost 6'2", 6'3", you have that extra height in there as well. Whereas in some of those Class Bs, I felt like I had to scrunch in to get in there and take a shower. This one is actually quite nice.
Yeah, it's a good point. Now the only downfall for me is the fact that there's not a lot of space in there for the toilet. You can't use it a certain way. Fortunately, it turns, but you know, I'm a hippie girl, so I need a little space in there. So I'm working on it. It's like a puzzle. You got to find the right maneuvers to get it to work, but it's working.
Right.
And it's actually an amazing concept to like a wet bath. That kind of it's very European. Has like that wet bath, let's just dry bath concept where the wall just kind of folds over.
No, it is cool. All in all, I've been very happy, but it's not all rosy.
No. So I think it's great that we were able to kind of just share our experience. You know, there's a lot of people trying to get into the RV space, and I think sharing as to why we chose this one over some of the other ones can help others make better informed decisions.
Absolutely. And we are just getting started, so we're going to just share with you kind of all the ups and downs in our Echo adventures.
Oh yeah, and actually we have a website, TurnItUpWorld.com. Just check that out because I'll be writing blogs about some of our experiences as well, maybe in a little bit more detail and maybe with some photos. So stick around for that. Sign up to our newsletter, which is TurnItUpWorld.com/newsletter, where we're also making some fun announcements. But on that note, it is getting close to supper time.
I know, we're getting hungry.
So I'm starving. Let's go eat.
Time to eat. Take your shoes off.
You got it.
I beat you to
remembered. Oh, I love you.
Love it, baby.